Alright, so before we jump into Pirates, what we're going to do is we're going to honor a couple of 8th graders. We've done a lot of different things over my 9 years here. We start with the beginners, or they get all their certificates and their pencils, Allegro certificates, Presto, at some point we had certificates for a while. Almost every 8th grader was getting some sort of recognition, which was awesome, but it also turned into the Grammys, except for Robin Williams wasn't hosting, so it wasn't. The parents of that child was so happy, but the other 700 people who were waiting were like, wow, this is fun, but it's been 7 hours. So we've been changing things as just the classes change, and what I've been moving towards, and Mr. Zhao, we have this real belief that the reward is being part of a community, the reward is being part of something special and unique, the reward is learning self-discipline, is having the innate leadership characteristics that are important for everything that they do in life, and that's something that we work here. So we've been moving more and more away, and you notice we don't do the festivals where we get trophies, because winning trophies is pretty easy. Every festival wants to give trophies, every festival wants you there because they want you to pay for each kid. So for example, when we used to do the Heritage Festival, we're paying $100 per kid. If we take down 300 kids, that's a lot of money for a plastic trophy, and every group essentially wins one, so you feel good, you're like, but we don't know really what first place means if they don't get any better. Or we don't know what first place means if the next day they see some kid is, upset or crying and they just walk right past them. Because first place doesn't mean a whole lot if you're not caring, if you're not kind, if you're not paying attention to the world and the people around you. So sometimes first place gives you this idea we are awesome. And then later on when you get second place, you're like, oh, we're not as awesome now. When actually, you've just grown and for whatever reason, you didn't win that time. And then the opposite is also true. Sometimes you work unbelievably hard and put so much value into winning that if they got a third place, it's like, oh, you just didn't do enough. It's like, no, you did. It's incredible what you're doing. So Mr. Zhao and I have sort of developed this, it's a new wave, and there's a lot of educators who are buying into this belief, leaving the old school trophy fest behind and just honoring hard work and value. So we're also doing that with what we're doing on stage. Both of us have moved away from recognizing every single kiddo on stage, although you'll notice if you're wearing a necklace, would you stand on up? Necklace people stand on up. These are all 8th graders, and you'll notice they're kind of collected in a variety of spots. These are honoring their time in the orchestra, so whether it was 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, a couple of, I think, quasi 6 years in the group. Go ahead and sit back down, kiddos. This is what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, down. There you go. You're like, yes, recognize me, I'm on stage. Just being committed, of having loyalty, of following through. This year I had 7 different universities contact me for recommendation letters with follow-up phone calls about students I taught in 8th grade. That seemed wild to me, but I was like, well, this is what this kid did. For 5 years they showed up, they showed great character, great blah, all these sort of things, and then when they go through Mesh in high school and they come back and visit, it's like, for example, Micah is here just as a freshman hanging out, helping out. It's like, well, Micah was always there. He was always conscientious. He was always positive. He was always looking ahead. And it says something about you as a person when these qualities are already happening at the 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old level. So with that, we do have some things that are sort of required by Redwood community because we had a really great family many, many years ago that set up an endowment where there's scholarship money that goes to 2 students that eventually they use that money in the high school orchestra program. For example, this year the orchestra is going to Spain, which sounds amazing and fantastic. And then in December, the top high school orchestra is going to Chicago. So these scholarships would go into their student account and go towards one of those trips or to a camp, a music camp of some sort. And so we still honor those, but Mr. Zhao and I don't have a say in it. This is all student voted, which means they know which kids show up, they know which kids are working hard. Bottom line is, though, you look on stage, these are terrific kids. You're raising wonderful young people, and I'd love to give them all scholarships for everything, but such is life, and here it is. So we're going to talk about 2 little kiddos. Well, not so little, they are 8th graders, 5'2"-ish. And they're just wonderful. The first one, we're going to do an upper string and a lower string. First one is someone that we've known for years and years, is an exceptional musician, of course, which is certainly a criteria for how this works. very humble, doesn't say, I want to sit here or I need to sit here. Says, okay, yeah, I'll sit there. Like, hey, so you're gonna do the solo? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do the solo. Someone else is gonna do the solo. Oh, okay, someone else gets to turn the solo. So they have humility. They're not worried about them being the ones that are the face of the franchise. They show up, they make sure they're disciplined, they're conscientious, they make sure the whole section is ready. They're kind, they're caring, they're unassuming. The first recipient of the Allen Family Orchestra Scholarship is Michelle Lowe. And then for our low string, which is challenging because the orchestra is massive. We have all these 8th graders who are just so deserving and wonderful. This individual has been playing for years and years, as all of these kids have. How many of you started playing your instrument at 11 years old or older? 11 or older? All of you did. Raise your hand. All of you started 11 or older. Keep them up. Keep them up. Hands up. Every single one of you, raise your hand. 11. Oh, sorry. I said it the wrong way. Now they're confused. The answer is B. I'm going to blame my son, Sean. I was up to 3. Okay, 11 or younger. 11 or younger, raise it up. Good. So 11 or younger, so at least since they're 11. All right, 10 or younger, keep it up. 9 or younger. 8 or younger. 7 or younger. 6 or 5 or 4. 3, 2, 1. The final count. Okay, so years and years already, years and years, right, in their long, lengthy career as musicians. They've been playing for a long time. This individual played for 6 years, has made sure to push herself in every direction, whether it was doing All-State, finding lessons, signing up for summer camps. She waited her turn and always let the folks that were older than her lead. Again, humble and humility, these are qualities that I really admire and I really respect. Unassuming, doesn't demand attention, doesn't say, you do this for me. They say, what can I do for you? It's just been a pleasure. Mitty's lucky to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, Raquel Yahu.
Can Vivace, if you're not an 8th grader, get off stage real quick? So for the last couple months, the 8th graders have been meeting twice a week at lunch to prepare a piece by ourselves. We've been working on a medley of songs from Harry Potter for Mr. Brandon as a kind of goodbye. So this is The Magic of Harry Potter. So now we have a couple speeches from 8th graders. So Michelle, let's start with you.